this season. Speaking of the roads, let's check back in now with Scott Mattis for an update in Covington this morning. Scott, good morning. Good to see you.
Well, good morning, Memphis and the entire Mid-South. Scott Mattis live here in Covington, Tennessee, about 45 miles just north of Memphis. We're on the north side of Covington, and we're off Highway 51 and have been for the better part of this morning. I'm going to step out of the way for just a second so you can see Highway 51. There's at least one car driving by, and whether they know it or not, whether any of these vehicles know it or not, there's a truck now passing going northbound. What is directly beneath this snow is a solid sheet of ice. I have been walking around looking at the accumulation, and it looks like right now, mind you, I'm not a meteorologist, nor do I have any measurement instruments, but it looks like there might have been about 2 inches or so of accumulation, possibly a little bit more than 2 inches of accumulation of snow here in the Covington area. But once again, the snow wasn't going to be the biggest deal in this system. It was going to be the ice, because leading this entire front coming into the Memphis metropolitan area, eastern Arkansas, western Tennessee, and of course northern Mississippi, was the rain that started. That all laid on the ground as the temperatures dropped. Once again, like I said, the wind chill right now is likely around 2 degrees, just 2 degrees above zero. So everything is completely frozen. Now, Highway 51 is bare. You could say, at the very least. There was a man walking down the sidewalk. We talked with him. His name is Ross, and he lives just down the road. He came up here to this gas station where we currently are to get a cup of coffee. He says, you know what? It's not that bad. It is cold. It's incredibly cold, but he's seen much worse. But the bottom line to this big story, not a lot of traffic on the road right now, but you might expect that given the severity of this storm, and the temperatures quite literally are freezing. A short time ago, tears being quite literally brought to our eyes because of the wind associated with this cold weather. But getting up here late last night into the early morning hours was treacherous, to say the least. Highway 51, once again, it started with ice very early on, and it continues to be that way. Of course, there's no more snow. There's absolutely no sleet, just very, very cold air. We'll be back shortly. For now, live, I'm Scott Mattis.
All right, Scott, right to the roadways this morning and a traffic impact alert for you. As Scott kind of talked about, those roads are slick, especially in areas that got a little more of that sleet and ice, mainly north of Memphis. For us here in Memphis and DeSoto County, a little more sleet mixing in. That has helped the roads maybe a bit, but it is still very slick in certain spots. And you can see just how slow things are coming in pretty much from every corner of the Mid-South. This is 240 in Walnut Grove. A car stalled over here. What's happened in Memphis for the most part, we got a little more powdery snow. So on the interstates, as you drive by, it's almost just like driving on some sugar. But beneath that sugar, there are some slick spots, so I would caution you, if you have to get out this morning, don't get too confident, because that's when you hit a slick spot. And there are definitely slick spots out there this morning. Look at Airways in Goodman and South Haven. This is looking north up toward the hospital, completely covered in that sleet and snow mix. I had a video of you there for Osceola. Looks like that minimized. We'll get back to that here in just a little bit. But a view around the metro area shows you, again, crews are just now getting out, really starting to clear some of those roadways. 55 in Brooks is not bad. You've got a lane open there on 55. Looks like 40 in Hollywood, in at least one direction you've got a lane open. 385 still completely covered in snow and ice, and it looks the same on 240. Crews have not been able to make it out there just yet. So again, the bottom line is you're going to have some slick spots, some roads that are okay. If you have to get out this morning, keeping it slow and taking your time is going to be the name of the game. Let's take a live look at the flyover camera this morning, show you what's going on out there. As we talked about, that snow has completely ended and has moved out of the Mid-South. Just a few flurries left now. The issue is whatever has fallen is going to stick with us thanks to that cold air coming in. 19 degrees in Memphis right now, but because of the gusty wind, the very high wind, feels like 5 degrees on the wind chill right now. Again, radar pretty much clearing out. We had a heavy band of snow right around 3:30 and 4 in Memphis. That's since cleared out. Again, leaving us with some very light flurries. But for the most part, this event is pretty much done as far as the snow and sleet. Now what we're going to be left with is the travel issues and the cold. 25 degrees is your high today, but because of that high wind that's going to continue, your wind chill struggles to get above 10 degrees. The highest your wind chill is going to get today is 13 because it's going to be so cold and so windy. Tonight, even worse, dangerous cold, I would say. 10 degrees is your low, a couple of clouds overnight, and that wind will continue overnight. So we do have a weather impact alert for today and tomorrow, not only for the dangerous cold that's going to continue, but also for the travel concerns, because with temperatures below freezing, that snow and sleet is not going to go much of anywhere. So I do expect at least some slick spots on the roadways through the end of the week. Even Friday, we only get up to 32 degrees. It's really going to be until this weekend before we start to see some improvement. Sunshine for Saturday and Sunday, 42 Saturday, 51 on Sunday. And then as you look ahead to next week, things do look a little bit better. We get to 62 with sunshine on Monday, and then all the way up close to 70 degrees as we get to sunshine on Tuesday. So again, as we look ahead, there is at least something to look forward to. Nearly 70 next week. Just got to get through this cold weather first. And someone that is, I don't believe, enjoying the cold weather is our Ruben Diaz. We got sick of him in the studio, so we sent him out to the field, and it looks like he is having a great time this morning. Ruben, how are you feeling out there, out on Mud Island?
Sick. That's how I'm feeling. Sick, tired, and freezing. Trevor, I don't know if this was like your birthday wish. Hey, can we get Ruben out in the frozen tundra? But if it was, it has come true. It is absolutely freezing out here. I'm at Mud Island Park, and Trevor, you mentioned it, that it wasn't going to be the same type of event as it was last month, and it's not. Last month was a lot of snow. This is not nearly as much snow. We're going to take a look at the ground. I brought my trusty snow shovel. I lived up north for a little bit in Indiana, so we had to get one of these. I don't know if people even use these down here, but let me show you. There's not just a ton of snow. See, you can see the ground underneath when I use my snow shovel. So it's not like I wouldn't even really need this in my driveway at this point in time. Not just a ton of snow, not a lot of depth, but the trick becomes the stuff that fell before the snow. And so my photojournalist, Randy Page, is going to help me here. We're going to walk over to the side. Lighting's not as great, but you can kind of see when you look at the road, that little bit of a glaze on the road. And if you stomp on some of this, you can see some of the ice, and not ice necessarily, but some of the colder stuff underneath. I don't want to mislead people and think it's a sheet of ice underneath, because it's not necessarily a sheet of ice, but there's definitely a glaze in some areas that are not covered by the snow. It's bitterly cold out here. Bitterly cold, and that's probably, to me, one of the more notable things you need to be aware of is if you go outside, you need to have everything covered. My face right now is not covered because I'm doing television, and it is feeling it. My hands were frozen. I had to go thaw them out. So if you have to get out, please bundle up. But if you don't have to get out, stay by the fireplace, because this is not fun right now. I'm reporting live at Mud Island Park. Back to you, Yvonne. And I feel like it's really warm and toasty in that studio today.
Oh, it is so nice, Ruben. I hate to rub it in, but it is. It is very warm and toasty in here. You stay warm as best as you can out there.